Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and news from North Korea. North Korea have successfully launched a spy satellite successfully, and this is actually very interesting because uh, there is some obscure news maybe a few weeks ago or maybe a month or two ago where Russia is getting more and more, closer with North Korea. They started to buy shells and maybe great rockets and trade with North Korea against the sanction that is supposed to be applied on North Korea. So and then Putin offered help for North Korea to deal with their constantly failing satellite launching. They launched like two times or even more, and they have all failed. And Putin offered help, and maybe it was because of the help from Russia that we are seeing this very successful satellite launch. So on the 21st of November, the Korean Central News Agency announced that the reconnaissance satellite, the Manringyong, was launched aboard the new Cholima-1 rocket from the Dongchangri launch site. I probably have massacred the Korean words, but yeah, so I wonder where this rocket come from. Maybe they develop it themselves. Maybe it comes from Russia. No idea. And it is supposedly newly designed by the North Koreans, and they celebrated. This is a very very big progress or development for the North Koreans, and they said that this will ramp up the war preparedness of the armed forces of the Republic. And this is the third attempt. So it's actually a third attempt to launch a military spy satellite. So it's actually three. This is the third one. And the other two attempt was in May and August. And since then, which is where I mentioned Putin offered help. And North Korea has promised to launch several more of these satellites. So South Korea has confirmed this information. They corroborated, saying that they can confirm that the North Korean satellite have entered orbit, and based on comprehensive analysis of the flight path and other signs, the satellite assessed to have entered into orbit. But they still need more analysis and time before they can determine whether the satellite is working properly. So the North Korean, of course, having a spy satellite, now triggers the Americans, because nothing the Americans do nowadays, is going to stop shitty things from happening, which the Americans that the Americans don't like. Every single development right now is against the Americans. Nothing goes well for the Americans, and clearly, even the North Koreans now have satellite, and the U.S. say that basically wants North Korea to cease provocative behaviors. Which I'm not sure how is the launching a satellite provocative to the Americans. And so this is not like rockets or missiles that can kill people. This is just satellite. So anyway, according to the new UN Security Council resolution, they banned North Korea from sending any satellites, and which can be seen as benefiting its ballistic missile program. But remember, I mentioned Putin offered help, and Putin is inside the Security Council, so it's very very weird. So accordingly, this is where I got the confusion. Pyongyang, North Korea basically attempted 6 satellite launches since 1998 to reach orbit, but they are believed to be non-functional because they're just testing. They don't have the money and the technology then to actually develop, the satellite itself, the real satellite. But it was testing and everything. So the White House calls it a brazen violation of multiple UN Security Council resolutions. The president, Joe Biden, and his advisors are currently assessing the situation with the allies and partners. So they expect this recon satellite to spy on U.S. ally South Korea, but they are still assessing the success of the launch. So U.S. also call on all the countries, basically your country and my country and everyone's country, to condemn this illegal space launch I'm not sure since when there was such thing as a legal space launch. I don't think there's any international laws that actually says that you can or cannot launch a space rocket. At least not that I know of. And they urged North Korean regime to return to serious negotiations. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. Like serious in what sense? No, just look serious. No, just like no. I don't know. It don't make any sense to me. So, and the door has not closed on diplomacy, but Pyongyang must immediately cease its provocative actions and instead chose engagement, the spokesperson stated. Like as if North Korea needed United States for anything. It makes no sense. It just don't make sense. The Americans are living in their own bubble. So in reaction, South Korea actually have to partially suspend part of this inter-Korea agreement. Basically, they had a peace treaty, some kind of a peace treaty of sort or defense treaty, where they so it's called the 2018 Inter-Korean Agreement. So which actually try to demilitarize the DMZ even more and try to reduce tension. But now because of this satellite, South Korea now is in a back foot. So they have resumed aerial surveillance activities at the border. So this was previously suspended because of this agreement. And South Korea say that they will promptly and strongly punish North Korea if they use South Korean step as a pretext to launch another provocation, which I don't understand as well. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So the 2018 agreement create buffer and no-fly zones along the countries, DMZ, the demilitarized zone, and under the deal, the Koreas are required to halt frontline aerial reconnaissance and live fire exercises, which clearly nobody cares. Both sides also launched live fire exercises, but they previously did remove some of their guard poses and landmines. So North Korea very happy. Clearly they're very happy about literally everything. So they are now very happy because now they have satellite images, and clearly this is a satellite image of the Anderson Air Force Base, but this is actually not taken by the North Koreans. I just take this from somewhere else. So this is the Air Force Base, how it looks like from space. Basically, they claim that within the 1 day, they have taken images of the Anderson Air Force Base, Pearl Harbor, and other major military bases of the United States in the Pacific, which is a bit fast. Not sure if it's possible. So the North Korean Aerospace Agencies received the satellite imagery on Wednesday morning, and they say, and if this is true, then this would mean that the North Korea have tremendous surveillance capabilities, which is a significant leap because they will allow them to detect troop movement much more earlier around the region. And so the Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, say that the satellite will help North Korea to closely monitor and grasp the nature of US military activities in the region. So which means that previously they are unable to monitor and they are unable to grasp the nature of the US military activities. But this would also, in a way, put things into the United States can no longer play chicken, or they can no longer not the right word, but to how to put it in Singlish, we call it hum. to scare the North Koreans by making some fake military movement, and make some announcement, but they actually did not make the move. United States previously probably they can do something like this to scare the North Koreans, but now they can't because the North Koreans can now use the satellite to try to analyze if the alleged troop movement is real or not. So this is significant in that sense. And the first recon mission allegedly will start on the 1st of December. So which is why I say there is some. It seems a bit fast that they have some of these photos. So Kim Jong-un said that there's a need for more of these satellites so that they can move on different orbits, which is why again I say the same problem. How is the satellite able to take so many pictures in the first day? But anyway, they definitely gonna send more satellites, so that they have more valuable real-time information about the enemy and promote their responsive posture according to the statements. So the satellite now requires a certain adjustment according to KCNA, the Korean news agency, and will begin its reconnaissance mission on the December the 1st. So which means the satellite is actually still not fully operational. They're still making adjustment, planning, preparing, checking, doing tests, because this is the first time they launch a satellite. They need to make sure that everything's working. So which is why the South Koreans say that even if it enters normal orbit, it takes a considerable amount of time to carry out normal reconnaissance. So taking photos of Guam cannot be done on the first day if you have any knowledge of satellite, according to Shin. I forgot who is this. The Shin Won-sik, the South Korean defense minister, saying that all this news about seeing all the satellite images is just exaggeration. So yeah, so I have my doubts, that they can get the satellite images so quickly. But yeah, ultimately they still have the satellite in space now. So this is the most important thing. And and on top of that, this satellite launch is also very unique in the sense that they actually destroyed their booster. So after the North Korean satellite, the rocket fly all the way up and it loses its booster, apparently the booster, instead of plunging down into the sea, exploded in mid-air. So this was detected by night vision camera, and so it is very unusual to see spent booster blow up during the launch of expendable rockets. So according to this, so what happened is that in previous failed satellite launches, as you can see from this image here, the South Koreans went to recover all these booster rockets that fell into the sea. So in May, after the May launch, the South Koreans official actually their navy recovered large rocket pieces from the Yellow Sea, and then they were trying to determine, they are trying to inspect and see whether if anything is coming from the Russian. So this time round, the North Korean make sure that they planted some bombs on the booster to make sure that it explodes in mid-air, so that there is very little for the South Koreans to recover. So this is something that is pretty interesting. And so then there is this very, very weird piece of news coming out from South Korea. The South Koreans say that after they say that they detected a failed missile test from the North Koreans after a day after the satellite launch, and they say that they detected the missile launch from the capital region, and it said it was fired towards the eastern waters, but the launch believed to have ended in failure. And then the chief of staff said that the South Korea and US authorities are analyzing the launch but gave no further details. So this is very unusual. I would say this is more like they are trying to cope. This is just coping. It feels like a fake news. It doesn't feel real to me. It feels like it's planted in just to distract people away from the successful satellite launch, and to say that you see, they fail normal launch, normal rockets, normal missile, they fail. So the news can report less about the successful satellite. It just feels that way. It feels like a cope. So, but anyway, this is just the situation surrounding this new development with North Korea, and I think that North Korea definitely gotten some help from Russia, because Russia, if you notice, like I mentioned, if you are following the DPA war, where DPA is covering the conflict in Ukraine, you probably hear me say about the unusual return of the Grad launchers, some of these artillery shells that I suspect comes from North Korea. And given the previous communications and diplomatic activities between Putin and Kim Jong-un, that's most likely the case where Russia have helped North Korea with the satellite launches, because ultimately, other than the United States, Russia and China are the ones, and I think with India as well, are the ones that are most advanced with launching space rockets, and especially for Russia. So we'll probably see more launches, and perhaps even the launch, I'm not sure, maybe it's launched by, with the help of the Russians on the ground, who knows. But we will see more launches, which means that North Korea is going to have a lot more intel, and that will make war a lot harder for the South Koreans. But of course, any war between the Koreans, the two Koreas, will have the support of China and Russia on the North Korean side. They will be providing all this intelligence, the satellite imagery. So all this satellite is just additional, in a way, to put it that way. I'm quite sure China have sufficient satellite imagery to help North Korea. So is Russia. So North Korea launching their own, it just helps to give North Korea more independence. They don't need to depend on China, which to North Korea is still an existential threat. You have to understand, even though as much as they feel like friends, or they are protected, or secured by China, ultimately is the biggest country next to North Korea other than Russia, especially with tremendously long borders that they share. And China being a very powerful country, North Korea had always, historically, always is under the shadows of Chinese empire. So which is why North Korea don't really trust China. So as much as they want to work with China, they are also very, very wary. So having their own satellites, that would definitely help in gaining more independence for themselves. But anyway, North Korea is North Korea. We shall see how this goes. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next update.